You're losing hundreds of dollars every single month, and the scary part is, you think you're being smart with money. Hey, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I'm really glad you found this video, because what I'm about to share with you today might genuinely change the way you think about your money forever. Now, I want to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with yourself when you answer this. Do you ever reach the end of the month, look at your bank account, and just think, where did it all go? You weren't buying luxury cars. You weren't booking 5-star hotels. You weren't doing anything that felt wildly expensive. But somehow, the money is just gone. And here's the thing that most people do in that moment. They blame their income. They say, I just don't earn enough. Or they tell themselves, maybe next month will be different. But next month comes. And it happens again. And again. And again. That cycle, that exhausting, frustrating, demoralizing cycle, is not happening because you're bad with money. It's not happening because you don't work hard enough. It is happening because nobody ever sat you down and told you the truth about the specific things that are quietly draining your wallet every single day, things that feel completely normal, even smart, but are actually costing you more than you ever realized. And that is exactly what this video is about. We are going to break down the 7 things that most people waste money on without even realizing it, and by the end of this video, I promise you, you will never look at your spending the same way again. So make sure you stick around, because number 4 is the one that shocks almost everyone. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with number 1, and this one is so common, so deeply embedded in our daily lives, that most people genuinely don't even see it as a problem anymore. Subscriptions. Now before you say, yeah, I know, cancel Netflix, I want you to stop right there. Because this goes so much deeper than Netflix. In fact, Netflix might be the least of your problems. Here's what's actually happening. We live in a world that has been completely engineered around the subscription model. Every app, every service, every platform has figured out that the easiest way to make money is not to charge you once, it's to charge you a small amount, every single month, quietly, automatically, forever. And they've become incredibly good at making you forget about it. Think about your own life right now. You've got streaming services, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. You've got a gym membership you signed up for in January. You've got a news app you downloaded during a free trial and never canceled. You've got cloud storage you're paying for on 2 different platforms. You've got a meditation app, a music service, maybe a meal planning subscription you use twice. Individually. Each one feels like nothing. It's only $5 a month. It's only $9.99. It's basically free. But add them all together, and studies have shown that the average person is spending anywhere between $150 to $300 every single month on subscriptions they barely use or have completely forgotten about. That is up to $3,600 a year, gone. Silently. Automatically. Without you ever making a conscious decision to spend it. And the worst part? These companies are counting on exactly that. They design the cancellation process to be confusing. They send you reminder emails you ignore. They bury the billing date so it doesn't line up with anything you'd notice. This isn't an accident. This is a strategy. And you are the target. So now that you understand exactly how this trap works, let's talk about what you actually do about it. Because awareness alone doesn't save you money. Action does. The very first thing I want you to do, and I mean today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, is go through your bank statement and your credit card statement for the last 30 days and highlight every single recurring charge you see. Every single one. Don't skip anything. Don't assume something is worth keeping just because you vaguely remember signing up for it. Write them all down in one place, a note on your phone, a piece of paper, a spreadsheet, whatever works for you. Just get them all visible in one single list. Now here comes the most important question you need to ask yourself about each item on that list, and I want you to be brutally honest when you answer it. Have I used this in the last 30 days, and did it genuinely add value to my life? Not, could I use it? Not, I might use it next month. Not, I feel guilty canceling it because I paid for a whole year. Did you use it in the last 30 days? And did it make your life meaningfully better? If the answer is no, cancel it. Right now. No hesitation. And look, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but what if I need it later? Here's the truth, if you genuinely need it later, you can sign up again. Most services will actually welcome you back with a discount because they want your business. So you lose nothing by canceling. But here's what you gain back control. You gain back money that was silently leaving your account every single month without your permission. And when you multiply those small amounts across 12 months, you will be genuinely shocked at the number staring back at you. Some people who do this simple audit save $200, $300, even $400 a month, just from canceling things they completely forgot they were paying for. That's money that could be sitting in your savings account. That's money that could be invested and growing for your future. That's money that is currently going nowhere, except straight into someone else's pocket. So do the audit. Do it today. And let's move on to number 2, because this next one is going to hit even closer to home. Alright, number 2, and this one is probably the most socially acceptable way to destroy your finances without anyone ever questioning you about it. Eating out. Now I'm not here to tell you to never enjoy a meal at a restaurant. That's not realistic, and honestly, that's not fun. But what I am going to tell you is that your daily food habits are most likely one of the biggest leaks in your entire budget, and you've normalized it so much that you don't even see it anymore. Think about your average week. Maybe you grab a coffee in the morning, $5 or $6. Lunch with a coworker, $12 to $15. A takeout dinner because you're tired and don't feel like cooking, $18 to $25. A snack here, a dessert there. None of it feels like a big decision in the moment. But add it all up across 7 days, and most people are spending $150 to $250 per week just on food outside their home. That's over $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. Just on food. Just because of small, daily, unconsidered choices. And the scary part is, the food industry knows this. Convenience is priced at a premium on purpose. They want eating out to feel easier than cooking. They want you hooked on that habit. The fix is simple, meal prep even 3 days a week. Cook in batches. Make your coffee at home just 4 days out of 7. Small shifts. Massive savings. Number 3, and this one is deeply psychological. This one is not about laziness or carelessness. This one is about how your brain has been deliberately hijacked, and you don't even realize it's happening. Impulse buying. Here's the situation. You weren't planning to buy anything. You were just browsing. Maybe you got a notification. Maybe you saw an ad. Maybe you were just scrolling out of boredom. And then suddenly, something caught your eye. And before your logical brain could even process what was happening, you clicked Add to Cart. Sound familiar? This is not a coincidence. This is a billion-dollar science. Every major retailer, every e-commerce platform, every shopping app has entire teams of psychologists, data scientists, and behavioral experts whose only job is to make you buy things you never planned to buy. They use urgency, only 2 left in stock. They use social proof, 10,000 people bought this today. They use false discounts, was $80, now $40. Even though it was never actually $80. And it works. Every single time. On almost everyone. The average person makes 3 to 5 unplanned purchases every single week. Multiply even $15 per impulse buy across a full year, and you're looking at over $2,000 completely wasted on things you didn't need, didn't plan for, and probably barely remember buying. The fix? Simple but powerful, implement a 48-hour rule. See something you want? Wait 48 hours before buying it. If you still want it after 48 hours, maybe it's worth it. But 9 times out of 10, the urge completely disappears. Because it was never really about the product. It was about the feeling of buying it. Alright, number 4, and I promised you earlier that this one shocks almost everyone. This is the one people never talk about. This is the one that hides in plain sight on your bank statement every single month. And this one is special because unlike eating out or impulse buying, you are getting absolutely nothing in return for this money. Bank fees and credit card interest. Let's start with bank fees. Monthly maintenance fees. ATM withdrawal fees. Overdraft fees. Minimum balance fees. Wire transfer fees. Foreign transaction fees. Each one feels tiny. $3 here. $5 there. $35 overdraft charge you didn't see coming. But the average person pays anywhere between $150 to $300 every single year just in basic bank fees. Money that buys them absolutely nothing. No product. No experience. No memory. Just gone, straight to a billion-dollar banking institution that genuinely does not care about your financial well-being. Now let's talk about credit card interest, because this is where it gets truly painful. The average credit card interest rate right now is sitting at around 20 to 24% annually. That means if you're carrying a $3,000 balance on your credit card, which millions of people are, you are paying roughly $600 every single year just in interest alone. Not paying down your debt. Not buying anything new. Just interest. Just punishment for carrying a balance. And the minimum payment trap makes it even worse. If you only pay the minimum every month, that $3,000 balance could take you over 10 years to fully pay off, and cost you thousands more than you originally spent. The fix: switch to a zero-fee bank account, avoid ATM charges, and pay your full credit card balance every single month without exception. Number 5, and this one is going to challenge a belief system that has been built into you since childhood. Because most of us grew up thinking that buying something brand new automatically means better. Smarter. Safer. More reliable. And that belief, that deeply ingrained, completely unexamined belief, is costing you a fortune. Buying brand new everything. Let's talk about the most obvious example first: cars. The moment you drive a brand new car off the dealership lot, it loses anywhere between 15 to 20% of its value. Immediately. In that same day. You haven't even made your first monthly payment yet and your asset has already lost a fifth of what you paid for it. By the end of year 1, that car is worth 30% less than what you bought it for. That's not an investment. That's not smart spending. That is thousands of dollars evaporating into thin air simply because you wanted that new car smell. And it's not just cars. Think about furniture. Electronics. Appliances. Clothing. Sports equipment. Baby gear. Tools. Every single one of these categories has a massive, thriving second-hand market where you can find items in excellent, sometimes literally in used, condition for 40, 50, even 70% less than retail price. People sell perfectly good furniture because they're moving. People sell electronics because they upgraded. People sell baby items because their child grew out of them in 3 months. Their loss is your opportunity. The fix is simple: before you buy anything new, spend just 10 minutes checking second-hand platforms. You will be amazed at what you find. Same quality. Fraction of the price. New does not mean better. It just means more expensive. Number 6, and this one is sneaky. This one doesn't feel like a problem because each individual moment feels completely harmless. Completely justified. Completely reasonable. But stack those moments together, and the number will leave you speechless. Ignoring small daily expenses. I want you to think about your average morning. Maybe you stop at a coffee shop on the way to work. $5 or $6 for your usual order. Maybe you grab a bottle of water from a vending machine, $2. Maybe you pay for parking, $8. Maybe you buy a small snack from a convenience store, $3. That's roughly $18 to $20 before your day has even properly started. Now multiply that across 5 working days. That's $100 per week. Multiply that across 52 weeks, and you are looking at over $5,000 every single year spent on small, daily, forgettable purchases that felt like nothing in the moment. $5,000. Gone. On coffee, water, parking and snacks. And here is what makes this particularly dangerous, because these amounts are so small, your brain never registers them as real financial decisions. You never feel the pain of spending $5 the way you feel the pain of spending $500. So you never think twice. You never pause. You never question it. But your bank account feels every single dollar. Every single time. This is what financial experts call the latte factor, the idea that small, repeated, unconsidered daily spending is one of the most powerful forces destroying everyday people's ability to build wealth. The fix is not about deprivation. It's about consciousness. Start tracking every single purchase for just 30 days, every coffee, every snack, every small transaction. Write it down or use a free budgeting app. When you see the real number at the end of the month, it will change your behavior permanently. And here we are, number 7. The final wasted thing. And honestly, this one ties everything together. Because you can know about every single trap we've talked about in this video: subscriptions, eating out, impulse buying, bank fees, buying new, daily expenses, but without this one thing in place, none of it matters. Not having a budget. Now I know what some of you are thinking right now. Budgeting is restrictive. Budgeting is complicated. Budgeting is for people who are bad with money. And I need you to completely throw all of that out of your mind. Because every single one of those beliefs is wrong. And those beliefs are keeping you broke. Here is the truth about budgeting: a budget is not a prison. A budget is not punishment. A budget is simply a plan. It is you deciding in advance where your money goes, instead of wondering at the end of the month where it all disappeared. Think about it this way. Every successful business in the world operates on a budget. Every government runs on a budget. Every major corporation with billions in revenue has a detailed financial plan they follow religiously. But somehow, regular people have been convinced that budgeting is too complicated or too restrictive for their daily life. And the result? The average person has less than $1,000 in savings. The average person is one unexpected expense away from serious financial trouble. The average person works 40 hours a week for decades, and still ends up with nothing to show for it. Not because they didn't earn enough, but because they never told their money where to go. A budget gives you power. A budget gives you clarity. A budget gives you freedom, real freedom, because when you know exactly where every dollar is going, you can make intentional choices instead of reactive ones. So now that you understand why a budget is non-negotiable, let's talk about how to actually build one. Because most people who try budgeting fail not because they lack discipline, but because they overcomplicate it from day one. So I'm going to give you the simplest, most effective budgeting framework that exists. And it works for literally everyone regardless of income level. It's called the 50/30/20 rule. Here's how it works. Take your monthly take-home income, the actual amount that lands in your bank account after taxes. Now divide it into 3 categories. 50% goes to your needs. Rent. Utilities. Groceries. Transportation. Insurance. These are the non-negotiables, the things life requires you to pay for every single month. 30% goes to your wants. Dining out. Entertainment. Shopping. Hobbies. Travel. These are the things that make life enjoyable, and yes, they absolutely belong in your budget. A good budget doesn't eliminate fun. It just gives fun a limit. And the final 20% goes to your future. Savings. Investments. Emergency fund. Debt repayment. This is the category that actually builds your wealth over time. That's it. 3 categories. 3 percentages. No complicated spreadsheets. No financial degree required. Now here's the key, the 20% for your future should be the first thing you set aside when your paycheck arrives. Not whatever is left over at the end of the month. Because if you wait until the end of the month, there will be nothing left. That is guaranteed. Pay yourself first. Automate it if possible. Move that 20% into a separate account the moment your salary hits, and then live on the rest. This one shift alone has transformed thousands of people's financial lives. And it can transform yours too. Alright, we've covered all 7 things. We've covered the fixes. But before we wrap up, I need to talk about something that nobody in the personal finance space talks about honestly enough. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people already know some of this stuff. Most people have heard about budgeting. Most people know eating out too much is expensive. Most people know subscriptions add up. But they still don't change. And the reason is not laziness. The reason is not stupidity. The reason is mindset. You see, money is emotional. Far more emotional than most of us want to admit. Every financial decision you make is not purely logical. It is tied to how you feel in that moment. It is tied to stress. To boredom. To social pressure. To the way you were raised. To the beliefs about money that were quietly installed in you during childhood, beliefs you never even chose. Maybe you grew up watching your parents struggle with money, and deep down you absorbed the belief that financial stress is just normal. Just part of life. Just something you endure. Maybe you grew up hearing that wanting more money is greedy. Or that rich people are somehow bad. Or that investing is too risky and only for wealthy people. These beliefs, these invisible, unexamined stories you tell yourself about money, are running your financial life from behind the scenes. And until you identify them and consciously challenge them, no budget, no savings plan, no investment strategy will stick long term. The most important financial work you will ever do is not in a spreadsheet. It is in your own mind. Changing how you think about money changes everything, your habits, your decisions, your results. So ask yourself honestly, what story am I telling myself about money? And is that story actually serving me? So we've talked about the problems. We've talked about the mindset. Now let's make this completely actionable, because information without action is just entertainment. I want to give you a clear, simple, step-by-step action plan that you can start implementing today. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Today. Step 1, do your subscription audit. Right after this video ends, open your bank statement and highlight every single recurring charge. Cancel everything you haven't used in the last 30 days. Do this before you sleep tonight. Step 2, track your spending for 30 days. Download a free budgeting app or simply use your Notes app. Record every single purchase no matter how small. A coffee. A snack. Everything. Just 30 days of complete awareness will permanently change how you spend. Step 3, implement the 48-hour rule. Starting today, every time you feel the urge to buy something unplanned, wait 48 hours. No exceptions. This single habit will save you hundreds of dollars every single month. Step 4, set up your 50/30/20 budget. Sit down this weekend, it takes less than 30 minutes, and divide your monthly income into your 3 categories. Write it down. Make it real. Give every dollar a job. Step 5, automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer the moment your paycheck arrives. Even if it's just $50 or $100 to start. The amount matters less than the habit. Build the habit first, then increase the amount over time. Step 6. Check secondhand before buying anything new. Make this a rule for yourself. Before purchasing any item over $30, spend 10 minutes checking secondhand platforms first. You will save money almost every single time. 6 steps. All completely free. All completely doable. Starting right now. And that right there is everything. 7 things most people waste money on without even realizing it. 7 fixes that are completely within your control. 1 simple action plan that starts today. But here's what I really want you to take away from this video, and please hear this clearly. Building wealth is not about earning a massive salary. It is not about getting lucky. It is not about having some secret knowledge that only rich people have access to. It is about awareness. It is about intention. It is about making slightly better decisions consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month. Every single person we've talked about in this video, the one bleeding money on forgotten subscriptions, the one trapped in the minimum payment cycle, the one spending $5,000 a year on daily small purchases, every single one of them can turn it around. Completely. Starting today. And that includes you. You watched this entire video. That already tells me something about you. You care about your financial future. You are willing to learn. You are willing to challenge your current habits. And those qualities, that curiosity, that willingness, are genuinely the most important ingredients for financial success. So now the only question is, what are you going to do with what you just learned? Because knowledge sitting idle changes nothing. But knowledge put into action, even imperfectly, even slowly, changes everything. If this video gave you even one thing that made you think differently about your money, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this message. Subscribe if you haven't already, because every single week we break down real, practical, no-nonsense personal finance strategies that actually work in the real world. And drop a comment below, tell me which of these 7 things hit closest to home for you. I read every single comment and I would genuinely love to know.